My name is Genevieve Long. I live in Mayflower, Arkansas. On March 29th of the actual Pegasus rupture, I was picking my children up from school and noticed as I was coming down our highway that there was ditches that were every bit of knee-deep full of tar sands, and it was just flowing through our community. It traveled a mile underneath streets and interstates to get into our wetlands, and that's where the 210,000 gallons boiled up.
And what did it smell like? What did you see?
The smell was putrid. I mean, you basically had to hold your breath for the simple fact that it would take your breath away. It immediately make you lightheaded, eyes blurry, dizzy, just from these extreme toxins that were put out from these tar sand spill.
And what kind of health impacts have you and your family had?
Now, some of the health impacts that my family and I have had are, of course, respiratory issues, abdominal pain, nausea, vomiting, dizziness, confusion, joint pain, skin rashes, liver, kidney problems, and, ongoing migraines. And they are continual to this day.
And so tell me a little bit about your family. How many kids do you have? And again, how close are you to where the oil ended up?
I have 4 children. I live about 300 yards from the retention pond where the oil itself pulled up. We have had no type of assistance. There was no evacuation that was indicted for this side of the community. Only the specific 22 homes were the only ones that were evacuated from our community.
And again, how has the spill impacted your kids?
It has impacted our family and our children in multiple different ways. We don't get to enjoy nature like we used to. I have to keep them in the house as much as possible to keep them away from as much toxins as I possibly can. When it comes to the weekends, I do my best to get them out of this town so they do get to breathe clean, fresh air every now and then.
And what has Exxon or authorities, what have they offered you? Have they offered you any kind of compensation or anything?
My family has not been offered any type of compensation. I have called Exxon, their claims department, and I was denied due to the fact that oil wasn't physically touching my property or the fact that the air quality was deemed safe for the companies that were working with Exxon.
And what would you like to see happen? What do you think needs to be done in your community?
I would like to see, as of right now, still immediate health assessments for the community members that have had health issues or could possibly incur health issues in the future from long-term effects of being exposed to these chemicals. They need to have, someone in the community that's going door to door to check and see if there are issues that have arisen that isn't being handled the way they should. There should be an immediate response. There should be multiple different ways on cleaning up the cleanup process itself. It's like if we weren't the 22, we were forgotten. As long as we weren't those 22 homes, there was nothing that happened or has been done to help our families or our health or our safety.
And so are other people around you having health problems too?
There are multiple different people that are having health issues. People that are actually behind the initial rupture site, that they also weren't evacuated either. People in the initial rupture site, and people throughout the community where we are around the continual work that the digging and the removing plants and ecological factors, we are continually being exposed. And I do know that one of my friends' doctor has actually told them they are not allowed to come back to Mayflower, period.
And tell me a little bit about the retention pond and the area that's near your home. What do you see when you go out there? Do you see oil in the water?
When you go to the retention pond, that's about 300 yards from my house. Inside and outside the booms, you can actually see tar balls floating in the water. They might be small, but they're still there. You can continually see oil sheen going underneath the booms, so the booms are not protecting anything. They have airboats out there and at the maximum 2 to 3 feet of water that's continually stirring up the bottom, which of course brings more of the toxins and the oil to the top. And other than them changing out the booms and doing water testing, I don't see that there's actually any work being done.
And do people there who live in the community, do they think there's oil that, tar sands oil that's gotten into the lake?
They know there's tar sands oil that's gotten into the lake. They uncovered the retention pond about 2 months ago that flows directly into Lake Conway. Well, we've had tons of rain since then, and the retention pond is free to flow into Lake Conway as it sees fit for any time the water gets high.
And how do you think this has impacted people's view of the Keystone Pipeline? If it can happen in your community, it can happen elsewhere?
In ways I know it has affected people's thoughts about the Keystone Pipeline and the simple fact that it's going to be carrying the exact same thing, and if there's no proper way to clean it up, health is at risk, the environment is at risk, our water is at risk. They know that there's no way to keep the pipeline from rupturing. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. There's already been documentation that they are cutting corners on manufacturing the actual pipes that are going to be placed for the Keystone Pipeline if it is approved.
And what's the bottom line in your community? What do you think has to happen from this point forward?
Well, first, what needs to happen is they need to regain our trust in these corporations and also our officials around Mayflower and the state. We have to have trust that they will keep us safe and they will do what they need to do to protect our health, our lives, and our environment. But until then, until they can prove to us that they're going to work for the community members instead of with these corporations, there's not a whole lot they can do to make us feel safe in our own community anymore.
So, do you feel safe there at all?
No, I don't feel safe, but the problem is, without the help from Exxon, we can't evacuate. We can't move. This is a working community. It's not a high-end community, but it's by no means a poor community. We just work. And we have to work to make ends meet, and some people in this community don't have health insurance. Well, if you don't have health insurance, you can't get the help you need without going into severe debt.
So what's going to happen in the future, do you think?
I don't know. Actually, I read an article this morning that says that Exxon is trying to get the state and federal government's lawsuits dismissed. They are trying to fight their way out of it every which way they know possible, and it's going to take our government officials to stand up and say, no, you caused this, you deal with the repercussions, whatever they are. You are this company, you are at fault, this was your pipeline, it is your responsibility.
And your community, are you going to band together, stick together to fight this thing?
Oh, we're not giving up. We're going to fight until we see fit that processes have been done the way that they should have been done. We're not going to give up, because if we give up, they win. And when they win, that just gives them more leverage to be able to do this same thing to other communities or other states.